HVAC 360, episode number 33, LG Electronics. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of HVAC 360. I'm your host, Matt Nelson. So this week, we go back to the AHR Expo 2012 in Chicago, down the McCormick Center. And this time, we're talking with LG Electronics Vice President of Commercial Air Conditioning, Kevin McNamara. Now, it was good of Kevin to take some time out and introduce the new product they have released coming out for LG, which is the Multi V3. So we're going to have Kevin tell us a little bit more about that just in a second. But it's nice to know that LG is getting a bigger presence here. I know that a couple of years back, it was kind of hard to find any information about LG Electronics, even though that on a global level, you may probably have heard more about them than we did here in the States. But now they have pretty much solidified their presence here, and you can hear more about that in the interview. So not too long, pretty brief. So enjoy the episode, and we'll catch you on the back end. So let's cut to the tape. All right, we're on the floor of the AHR Expo here, 2012 in Chicago. We're talking with Kevin McNamara of LG. How you doing, Kevin?
Doing great, thank you very much. How are you this morning, Matt?
Excellent. So what does LG have that's new this year?
Well, what's new for us is the introduction of Multi V3. It's our VRF product. It's the next generation product in our VRF family. Multi V3 represents state-of-the-art technology and beyond as far as innovation is concerned, as far as energy performance and the new AHR H3-033 standard. We're very pleased to be able to point to the analysis that was done to show that LG's product, both in EER and IER, is the industry leader in performance.
Great. Now, as far as variable refrigerant goes, how's the market penetration going? I know it's a little bit, typically worldwide, it's a very accepted technology. How's it going in the U.S.? What are some of the things that you're finding unique about the U.S. situation?
And you hit the nail right on the head there, Matt. I think what we've seen is more progression towards VRF. It continues to be more accepted, especially in some of the key markets around the country where retrofit and replacement work is being done, where people are looking at all of their options, particularly when they're trying to deliver more zone cooling, but then also the long-term cost of ownership as far as maintenance is concerned, and the related costs that go further downstream, 5, 10, 15 years into the life cycle cost of the system.
Now, are you focusing mostly on just improving efficiency of the existing equipment, or are there different options that you're trying to add on, something that you're improving it that way, or?
There are always additional things that we're looking at doing as far as improving the product. It's not just about energy efficiency. It is about addressing the installation component of it, making sure that our footprint is compact enough to be able to fit it in a lot of different places. Also, our flexibility as far as our piping is concerned to get out into the spaces that you're providing cooling or heating to. And then also the electrical requirements to install the systems and get them up and running. So it is a very holistic look at the product and its application. The other component of that is that we just don't have the air-to-air type cooling systems, but we also have the air-to-water cooling systems, which have an extremely small footprint that in a lot of cases users are more familiar with as far as having a cooling tower, having water rejection as part of the heat extraction process.
Excellent. So now, as far as the the refrigerant layout, refrigerant piping, what can designers do to better utilize LG, or as far as piping layout, are there training sessions? Are there as far as getting help from maybe reps and sizing piping, is that available?
Absolutely. We have 4 academies located around the United States that are geographically situated to help serve our customers better. We have the academy where I'm located in Alpharetta, Georgia, just outside Atlanta. We have an academy in Secaucus, New Jersey. We have one in Dallas, Texas, and one out in Rancho Cucamonga, California. These are full-scale academies that have live product in them that can be used for hands-on demonstration, hands-on training, as well as a full schedule of installation classes, refrigeration classes, LG-specific technology classes that we provide all year long to all of our customers.
Now, as far as the training goes on the for the contractors, obviously a very critical component to making a VRF system work properly. I guess how's that going? I mean, what's the success rate there?
As we have promoted more the availability of these classes, we've seen a tremendous increase, probably up 100% over last year at this time as far as attendance is concerned. We're also rolling out, more programs in different markets, so we want to have more contractors engaged in understanding just how you would install a system. Whether it's, quite frankly, LG or not, it's for the technology's benefit to get more people to understand that it's not this mysterious, unconventional type of product or installation. So the academies are really there to make sure that we have full access for folks in the marketplace to learn as much as they can about VRF.
Now, is this including the actual maintenance people, the maintenance staff on the tail end?
We address, I'll call it the front end, the middle end, and the back end of the ownership of product, if you will. We do a lot of specific training though for contractors, mechanical contractors, just so they can make that transition from what they know to what they need to know to help avoid any, I'll call it, concerns that are unfounded as far as it doesn't make sense to me, or how do you do this, and so forth. Take some of the mystery out of it, if you will.
Right. Now, I mean, as far as the owners go and the end users, what's been the feedback from them?
The feedback, once they have it, is they say, "Why didn't I do it sooner?" I think that what we find with owners is that we need to do a better job of informing them of what their options are. And I think once people can really appreciate the fact that you can have heating and cooling at the same time in the system, it really is very thought-provoking and quite frankly is a breakthrough. One of the misconceptions that a lot of folks have had is when they think of the VRF system, they don't think of the system, they think of a comparative like a chiller or a rooftop unit. They don't think about the fact that you have ductwork, large ductwork, large pumps, cooling tower, all the downstream apparatus to support the chiller. When you install a VRF system, you are truly installing a system in your building. It's a real, once that breakthrough is made, there's a lot more understanding of why it costs what it does to install it, why it costs what it does from a long-term cost of ownership perspective as far as being lower cost. But I think that I have yet to go and meet with anyone who says I made a mistake by putting this in my building.
Excellent. Now, I guess some of the things that we talk about, the various different products that you've been selling. You mentioned the standard air-to-air units. You have the air-to-water units, and you have some of the smaller units that you're producing here. On the inside, are there what kind of variety do you have on some of the indoor units?
Well, the indoor units we have are, our standard, I'll call them ceiling cassettes, which come in different sizes and capacities as far as the cooling they'll provide or the direction of the airflow that they provide into the space itself. You also have, with our duct-free product, the wall-mounted units as well that are complementary. The other product that we're pushing a little bit further the envelope with is our Multi-V Mini product, which is expanding its size up now to 48,000 BTU. The Multi-V Mini is a nice fit in specific larger applications that are just in between a large system and a small system, but one where a customer wants to have that kind of zone cooling that we're talking about and get the energy efficiency that they'd like to see out of a more high-end system, if you will. So I think that our move with also introducing the Echo V product here in the United States for the Multi-V product will help also to address concerns and items around outside air requirements in spaces. Ecov is another proven LG product that we're introducing, and we'll be able to provide as a package. So we're trying to make sure that there really isn't any component of a potential installation that we're not addressing.
So you're actually being proactive and going after that outside air component, which is really, if you think about the design part of it, you got the cooling, you got the heating, you lay out the system, that's great. Now you got to put in the outside air. How do we handle that with a completely different system? But you actually have specific products that address that.
That's correct. It's it's behind that wall right over there. But the Ecov product, I've seen it installed myself in Korea, and we're excited about having it here in the United States now.
Now, what's so special about the Ecov?
I think the fact that it's a coordinated system approach by LG that we can put together. I mean, it is very efficient. It addresses the exact concerns that folks will have as far as outside air is concerned, and it's easy to install. So it's a nice complementary product for us.
Now, is it energy recovery, or is it just conditioning the outside air, or what type is that?
It's doing a little bit of energy recovery. But it's really conditioning the outside air, primarily coming into the space as far as humidity is concerned, and also as far as temperature is concerned.
Now, when you talk about the future of LG and where it's going with the variable refrigerant, what's the next best thing? I mean, obviously you're pushing what's out here now, and brand new products, and they're looking great. So what's the next step? I mean, where are we going from here?
That's a great question. We're trying to enjoy having Multi V3 right now, and obviously we're very cognizant of the fact that you put out the next best product, somebody's going to try and leapfrog you. I think that LG's commitment to the environment, LG's commitment to being a leader in efficiency and performance, we'll continue to push the envelope as far as how efficient we can make our compressors, how small we can make the footprint and the impact that it has. We've had a big push on this year on the manufacturing side to be much more of a green manufacturer and be more carbon neutral I'll call it from a beginning to an end as far as the manufacturing process and the shipping process and so forth is concerned. But I would just see us continuing to push on being as dynamic of a product manufacturer as we can to make sure that our leading edge is always on the best energy performance that we can provide. And I think as we see in the U.S. market more interest in the heating and cooling systems as opposed to just traditionally just straight cooling systems, that we'll have some significant advantages there. Of course, working on the installation side of it is also primary. I think that the easier we can make it for folks to install the product, the better it's going to make it for everybody long term.
Excellent. All right. Well, I appreciate your time here, Kevin.
No problem. If I answered your questions and gave you a good idea of what we're doing these days, and really are thankful very much for you coming by and giving me a chance to speak with us.
Not a problem. From the floor of the AHR Expo, this is Matt Nelson with HVAC 360.
All right, and we're back. Thanks again to Kevin McNamara for taking time out of his busy schedule. I know he's had a lot to do with the expo, but we managed to wrangle a little bit of time away from him to talk to him about the products that they had at the show. Again, that Multi-V product, Multi V3, it really is. It was a nice product, nice looking product, and the efficiencies on that are pretty impressive. So. Just check it out if you're looking to think about VRF and VRF systems. Check out LG and be sure to at least take a look at the Multi V3 and see if it fits your application. Other than that, I did take a look at the Ecov across on the other side of the wall. He was saying. So after I got done talking with Kevin, I went over there and took a look at that. That too looked like a pretty solid piece of equipment. And I don't really have a lot of specs or specifics about that, but it's nice to know that a lot of the manufacturers in general are having that having that pairing of having the VRF system, both the evaporator and the condenser, inside outside pieces, but they also put that outside air component in with it as well. So that was actually, it was a pretty sizable piece of equipment. It wasn't anything small that they had that Ecov. One other product that I always think is cool when I look at the LG line of products is this Art Cool. I mean, it's one of these things that's, I don't know how you necessarily apply it, but if you found the right application, that Art Cool, it's basically the indoor component, the evaporator component, is kind of like faced with a piece of art. So basically everything's kind of concealed behind that, and it is pretty slick. VRF systems in general are generally pretty quiet, since obviously you have the compressor on the outside. But that Art Cool, I think I got that right. Check it out, and let me know what you think. So. That's pretty much it for now. We'll get back out to the AHR Expo in some of our future episodes. So until next time, remember, if you want to, I almost psyched you out there. I thought you'd go into my closing. No, I'm going to say, as usual, really appreciate everybody listening each and every week. It really makes it fun and exciting to be able to know who's listening and getting feedback. We're starting to get feedback here. So if you have any shows that you want to hear, just drop me a line, matt@buildingx.co. Or if you have any suggestions, comments, I'd love to hear the stories about how you listen to the show and where you find time. So if you want to hook up with me on Twitter, you can connect to me at BuildingX, or just connect with me on LinkedIn. And I think it's pretty easy to find me there. So without that, let's get you back to your life. And remember, know what you build and share what you know.